Welcome to Rhythm of Love, the podcast. I'm Clarence.
And I'm Yalonda. We celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary by writing a book together about what it took to get us here.
And in this podcast, we go deeper and break down what we learned along the way. We hope you enjoy and engage.
Comment, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear what you have to say about what it takes to make relationships last.
Yes, we will.
Right. So, welcome to Rhythm of Love, the podcast.
I'm Clarence.
I'm Yalonda. Sit back, relax, and let the chillest couple on the internet tell you how we see it.
That's what the word on the street is.
Words on the street.
All right. So what we seeing?
I think we're gonna go ahead and start with your threebies.
We're gonna start with my threebies. All right. So here are my threebies for this week. Okay. Here are 3 white artists that are like guilty pleasures of mine.
Okay.
I'm a closeted fan of
some of these white artists.
You don't want your boys to know that these songs are on your
boys
these artists are on your playlist.
Your boys are supposed to know.
It just is what it is. All right. So number 3, Madonna.
Okay. I don't think anybody will begrudge you that. Anybody who was a kid or a teenager in the 80s
first of all,
not begrudge you that.
Madonna can't really sing, so that's okay.
Right, that's not what she's there for.
But that material girl, borderline, like a virgin, crazy for you, which is a ballad from a movie called Vision Quest. If you ever seen that, because it's a ballad.
Nobody's Vision Quest. Oh my God.
So and it just list goes on and on and on and on and on. Madonna song.
All the way up to the 90s. We got some 90s.
All the way up until 2000 with Music Make the People.
Oh, was that 2000? That was 2000. I was thinking the 90s. Yes, that was 2000. Music makes the people.
I'm a Madonna fan, and I don't really share that too much publicly with my friends.
Right.
But, Justify My Love, I went to the library at UMBC to go and look up the book, because there was a book that came out with Justify My Love, and it was in the special section because it was kind of risque. It's nothing compared to now, but for then it was kind of risque. You know who wrote Justify My Love?
Library. Who?
Lenny Kravitz.
I think I did know that.
It led to his divorce from Lisa Bonet.
Because he was just getting it in too well with Madonna? What?
Getting it in is the appropriate term, but... So, yeah, Lenny Kravitz and Madonna kind of had a little thing, because, Madonna, she run through some dudes. And usually people say it the other way around. She's ran through, but no, she run through some dudes from, Dennis Rodman and
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn was her husband.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And years later, she said the love of her life. She really messed that up. She really thought Sean was the guy for her.
I do like Sean.
All right.
Penn.
So, okay. All
right. That was number 3.
Yes. Number one was absolutely. It was absolutely. That was her 3. It was absolutely Madonna. Number 2, Barbra Streisand.
You and your dad can have.
I blame him. I absolutely blame him.
He must have got you while you were so young and impressionable.
Listen, so you say that now until I play Guilty for You with her and
the Bee Gees,
the Gibb
guy. Yeah,
it's not Andy Gibb. It's
another Gibb.
It is Andy Gibb. It's Andy Gibb. No, it's Barry.
Because
it's Barry
Gibb. Song, we can't give anything to her for that. She carried her part, but
I went to see several movies with her. I went to, my father took us to see What's Up, Doc, which is a movie with her in it. And the whole time I'm waiting for Bugs Bunny to come out.
Right.
Bugs Bunny never comes out. And ends up being not a great movie for me as a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old.
I don't know why he was thinking. He just wanted to go see it.
He wanted to go see it. So,
He didn't have nowhere to take you to drop you off.
The 70s was a hell of a time. You just take the kids with you where you going. Just take the kids with you where you going. So Barbra Streisand, and I don't like a bunch of her stuff, but the ones I like, I really like. Evergreen.
I was gonna say we had Evergreen.
Evergreen
renewal
is a good, and it is because it's off the beaten path a little bit, and people, Kendra and Kevin teased me about it because they were like, "What's the song about flowers and birds and stuff?" So I said it's a good one, but. The woman he said,
Danny Baylor.
So she loved it. She said she had never heard it, and she said she loved it, and she was looking forward to singing it. So shout out to Danny.
Challenge what outside of what she typically would do.
But yes.
Okay.
All right. So that's.
Is that my pillow over there?
No, your pillow's over there.
Oh.
Okay. No, you talking about your seat
back pillow?
Yeah, it's over there. It's over there.
Too far away.
Go get it.
That is too far away. Is there something else we're not going to cut out?
No, adding nothing. Go get it.
What sound is that?
That's the interruption sound.
Interrupt this program. Right.
All right.
So an emergency, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. All right. So Madonna, Barbra Streisand.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one guilty pleasure white artist that I don't really let people know is in my playlist, but is absolutely in my playlist, is Frank Sinatra.
I mean, really.
Oh, blue eyes.
Except for Barbra Streisand. I don't think a lot of people would argue with Madonna and
the kids I grew up with argue.
Oh yeah, at that time. Now as adults, they might be a little.
Well, we
played him something.
We hang around musically.
Chicago is
musically. Listen, we were in
able to resist.
We were in Johnny Rockets one day. And somebody was playing the jukebox, and they played Chicago, and your mother was with us.
And you started
singing. She looked up and it was like,
"How do you know this song? Why do you know this?"
That's our joint. Yeah, but and my favorite is not even Chicago. Chicago is excellent. It's not my favorite. My favorite is Witchcraft.
Yes,
our favorite is Witchcraft.
That's a great one.
So, but we hang around what I would consider to be musically sophisticated people with regularity.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a set of people that you hang in that are not musically sophisticated at all. So
what do you mean?
They don't want to know about none of that stuff. And I'm not knocking them for that. That's who they are.
It's all subjective.
Right. But these are
the cat is out the bag now. Number one, Frank Sinatra.
Number one, Frank Sinatra. So
it's Witchcraft.
It says that old taboo. So I could still see the sword in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They pulled a sword. There's this scuffle in the climactic end scene where he's fighting Christopher Lloyd and all those things, and they knock over this podium, and this sword is in the podium. This animated sword, and he pulls that joint out, and it starts singing Frank Sinatra Witchcraft, and it's witchcraft. And although I know it's strictly taboo, and then they throw the sword away.
In that joint. That's when they throw it away at that point. So was that your first
foray into that song?
Right, for hearing that particular song?
It probably was the first time I heard that song.
I think the only Frank Sinatra song I knew before you started playing Frank Sinatra like you were for a moment there was New York.
Right, because that's his big one. But
yeah,
we know some Frank Sinatra songs. But any kid who grew up in the 70s, Under my skin. That's number 2. That's number 2. That's number 2 on my list. Deep in the heart of me. Come on now. So it is. Those are good songs, man. Those are. And Frank is so big in the other culture, you know, from a cultural icon.
Mainstream culture.
Yeah, mainstream culture. He's a cultural icon. I mean, there's a reference, and we might be able to cut this out or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's a point in a movie where it's kind of like the story of Frank Sinatra's life.
Okay.
And there's always been rumor and strong conjecture that he had ties to the mob.
Right.
So in this movie, the mob guys are talking about they being not satisfied with Frank.
Okay.
And it's the Chicago mob.
Okay.
And the mob bosses are talking about putting a hit on him.
Wow.
And the big boss finally says, we're going to let this go because I want to hear him sing Chicago one more time, at least one more time. I'm like,
hey, if your voice can save your life,
I want to hear him sing Chicago one more time. But it's a good movie. I saw it on HBO. I think it was HBO years ago, because the movie starts out, because that Rat Pack. It's the Rat Pack. That's the name of the movie. It's the Rat Pack. Because the movie starts out and all of the Rat Pack except Frank Sinatra have passed away, and he's getting ready to go on stage. And he turns to somebody and says, I really miss my guys. Mm-hmm. And as he's walking to the stage, it kind of takes you back to when he started his career. Yeah. Right. It's a very good movie, The Rat Pack.
Okay.
So
Frank Sinatra music always make me think of What Women Want.
That's a good one.
Yeah. They use quite a few Frank Sinatra songs.
They use that style of song, that big band style of song.
Yes.
But there was a lot of different artists, including Tony Bennett was in it, and a couple other people I can't think of right now.
It's a good soundtrack.
It's an excellent soundtrack.
Yes,
What Women Want. Yes. If you haven't seen that, it's a good movie too.
Check it out.
So those are my threebies. Madonna, Barbra
Streisand. What do I say about Barbra Streisand?
She sounds like she was taught to sing.
She was taught how to sing, and she sings exactly the way she was taught.
Soulless, I think, is the word.
Completely soulless.
Very, very.
Just straight.
I'm getting notes.
I'm going to sing these notes, and
yeah, but all three of those people are cultural icons.
True that. All for different reasons.
All for very different reasons, so Madonna, Streisand, and number one, by a large margin, is Frank Sinatra. By a very large margin, is Frank Sinatra. So,
all right, boom,
threebies down.
C-Sharp's threebies. Okay, so the other night you were watching, or the other day you were watching a show with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, it's called
a movie with Whoopi Goldberg called.
It's called A Dollar Late.
A day short.
A day short and
no. A day late and a dollar short.
Yes, a day late and a dollar short.
Which is
pretty common saying.
Yes.
A day late and a dollar short.
Yes, a day late and a dollar short. And I walked in and you were maybe halfway through.
Right.
And you do what you do when you're watching something that you're at least somewhat enjoying, you start to fill me in on what I've missed.
Yep.
And first it's just, let me give you the basis of the story.
Right.
And then next thing we know, I'm asking questions and we getting further.
Because you can't not ask questions.
Right. Oh, I'm definitely going to ask questions.
Right. Okay.
And we're getting further in. I'm seeing scenes on the screen. You catching me up with, oh, that's her. That's this one. That's the sister. That's the brother. Blah blah blah. And it just made me think about how many times we've actually done that. Like for us watching there's really not a real thing as watching TV together for us.
Okay.
Because one, you already decided that you can watch the next episode without me. So I don't even start anything with you.
So, but this is an evolution. This is not where we started. This is where we are.
And yes, we used to really watch TV
Right.
together, like all day on Sunday watching Lifetime movies and while we did laundry or whatever.
But
that's the way
ancient. That's ancient history.
Seriously.
That's ancient history.
That's first 5 years history.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is about shows and stuff like that is everything has kind of changed. You know, I don't even know that we owned a VCR in those days, but not because it didn't exist. I just don't know that we owned it. I think we were kind of transitioning out of VCRs more to DVDs.
But also, I was recording stuff. I definitely had it, because remember that episode of the David, what's the show? The nighttime talk
David Letterman.
David Letterman show where he had the kids on.
Oh, you love that shit.
And I would watch that little scene so much over and over again. So I know I had a VCR. Right. That was the only tape I ever watched.
I don't know that I was recording anything like that.
Yeah.
So, you know,
it was just funny too.
On time television was a thing. So, you know,
right.
you sit down.
Right. At Thursdays, we all sat down and watched Must See TV on NBC.
So
yes.
Because of that, it lent itself
to us watching
it together. Once we started moving into on demand, it don't lend itself to watching TV together anymore.
Yeah. So,
you know, so you can blame on demand for breaking up happy homes.
Exactly, for breaking up my nice little inside date nights that we would have, or date days, watching stuff together. But anyway, that's how we do it now. Is you watch even whole series like The Lincoln Lawyer.
Excellent.
I'm trying to think of the series before that. But you would watch everything of the series and just fill me in every time I came in the room.
Right. I mean, only because
I watch 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
So let me give some context about why I'm even filling you in. Because what I think has happened, and what I think happens with some regularity, is you walk into the room and I don't say anything because I'm watching the show. Then you're there and you're turning around and then you start. This is the evolution of it. You started asking questions. Now I pause it and I kind of try to bring you up to speed.
Right.
And I can tell you
if I'm getting into it.
Right. And I can tell you the very first.
It's like whatever.
I can tell you the very first show that I think that this happened on, which was The Expanse.
Oh yeah. Until I was like, I just need to watch this from the beginning. The
Expanse was the first time you said, what is this show that every time I walk in, he be walking?
It was some strong, dynamic woman on the screen on a sci-fi show. I was like,
excellent. The Expanse is excellent.
Yes, to the point where I was like, you know what? I gotta watch this whole
thing. So you would come in
myself.
and you would say, so what's going on? And I would try to explain to you,
but it was complicated. A layered story.
It's so complicated.
Yeah, so many characters.
And then you started saying,
settings,
right,
where people,
asteroids and Mars and Earth and the belt and all these things. So eventually you said, you stopped asking me questions. And you said, I'm going to watch it.
Myself.
But that was the beginning, in my opinion, of the phase we are in right now.
You feel like that was the beginning?
Because before that, it was just, I think you should watch this.
Right.
Because I said, I think you should watch the Big Bang series. I think you would enjoy the Big Bang series.
And I started watching
and
that.
I never
showed the first.
Right. And I never gave you any replay of that.
No.
I told you should watch. I told you should start watching Scandal. And you started watching that, but without any replay from me.
Yeah.
So I think the real beginning of where we are right now was The Expanse.
Was The Expanse.
Because you and Nathan both was like,
What is
this?
happening? It looks so good, but I have no idea. I can't understand who, what, when, where, or how.
The Expanse is very good.
So watch The Expanse if you haven't.
It's very good. It's it's
I'm
one of
not
the
sure
best
what
sci-fi
channel.
shows I've ever seen.
Ever. It's so good. From beginning to end, even. It ended
It ended well. It ended very
Yes.
well.
Yes. Okay. So that got me to thinking, like, what else do we do kind of together, but not together?
All right.
And I thought about, like, eating.
There was a time we ate together every night.
Yes. There was a time. And I think Moni interrupted that when she was like, okay, we're not eating at home no more.
I
want
think
to
it was
go to
long.
You think it was long before that?
I think it was the kids in general.
In general?
Once we start having to feed, if you think about the old house and the little cable in the kitchen, once we started having to feed them in that kitchen at that little table, then the idea of us kind of eating together went away.
We did that because we had to like train Moni, and we used food and drink to get her to learn how to ask for things and how to be patient while waiting for things.
So that's what I think is the beginning of that.
Really? But even then, I would make something that we would eat, and I would make something that the kids would eat. 9 times out of 10. Or, I leave off the sauce of what we were going to eat. So they would eat the chicken, without the sauce or whatever.
They eat that dry food.
Yes.
The dry
No sauce.
Dry food.
I think Nathan didn't start eating sauce until on his barbecue sauce on his chicken tenders until high school. And not even like the beginning of high school. He into high school.
They are the driest food eaters. I don't even know how they swallow that food. It's so dry.
That's why Moni is drinking the whole time.
But she won't put no sauce on it.
No. In fact, she don't even put the sauce near me. Get the sauce away. You know how they bring stuff to your plate, your table with the sauce, little cup of sauce. She like, before I can touch anything, I need you to remove that sauce from anywhere in my food.
All right. This is not a real segment, but we're going to jump this in here, which is called Situations with Moni. And so today, I'll show a picture of it on the screen, but I have this small check that gets sent to me periodically.
Oh yes.
And we're sitting there talking, me and Yalonda.
Dividends from his first job.
Yeah, something like that. So we
401k.
Simone comes in the room, and she been in the room all morning long. She's
always just like, let's go.
She's trying to get us to go out the house. Let's go out the house. So finally, she picks up this piece of paper off of the table. We don't pay no attention to it. Turns out it's that check. And she starts writing on it. And when I see her, I realize that it's the check. And I said, oh, Yalonda,
get that from her.
Get that from her.
Right on.
So she said, Moni, give me that. So she grabs it. She turns that joint over, and she has written Red Lobster on the check. Red Lobster.
And then she was like, wait a minute, I wasn't finished.
Restaurant.
She started to write restaurant before I took the paper. So then she got another paper and was like, restaurant.
Just so that y'all
finish this off. I want to go to not Red Lobster, anything else.
Red
Lobster restaurant.
So we go, we find, first of all, Red Lobsters are kind of hard to find these days.
They're closed.
But we find one. And that meets all of our criteria of location and distance and all those things. And we take her there, and I'm very concerned that the ceiling is not going to be right, and she's not going to like it.
There's going to be something. The lights are going to be hanging too low.
So I walk in first, and I say, oh, no, we looking pretty good. And we sit down. She sits down and she puts her headphones on.
But what is the first thing she says when she sits down?
Wings.
Sis, you brought us to Red Lobster for wings?
Wings.
No,
they don't sell no wings.
That's the thing. Moni likes chicken from seafood restaurants.
Right. Like chicken fried in fish grease is what I said. Chicken fried in fish grease.
crab seasoning on the chicken. She
So,
want the crab, but she
we
want the crab
we
seasoning.
ended up, and the only reason that what reminded me of it was because when we got her 2 kids meals, because it just makes it work out so well. So the one kid's meal had shrimp and the other kid's meal had macaroni and cheese. If they just made macaroni and cheese aside, then we wouldn't even have to do that. But
because she doesn't eat it all, but
but she wants the macaroni and cheese. So when they brought the macaroni and cheese, they also have her a side of fries. And in the middle of the fries was a cup of ketchup. And she was like,
get that. Take that off.
I can't even get them fries.
I love fries, but I can't even start.
You got to take that away.
Just get that cup out of here.
So you take the cup away from her, you pull it over here, and all of a sudden the fries are good. So we had a good time at Red Lobster. So I just thought that was a cool thing to put in here, sir.
Yes.
Side stories of Simone's side stories. That's what you call it. Simone's side stories. All right. So back to what you were saying.
Just saying that, eating together is another thing that even when we're like going out to eat, it's all cute when couples, we like, oh, let's just order one entree and one appetizer and we each eat off of it. No, that's typically not going to work for us. Maybe appetizers. We do like a lot of the same appetizers. But even then, if you get something too cheesy, I can't do the cheesy.
So the funny thing is, I think that it's also a product of us not being poor anymore. I think it's a product of us not being poor.
True that. But stuff is so expensive. Sometimes right now I would be like, it would be so just helpful if we would just get one thing.
So when we first got, right before we got married, we went to this restaurant in North Carolina that's this like super fancy steakhouse. I gotta look and see what the name of it is. I'm not sure.
It's in a barn.
Yes, but it's a really fancy, well-known steakhouse. You go to this steakhouse,
steak and seafood.
Yeah, and you can go there. You might see famous people there.
Yeah.
It's that kind of restaurant. And I was flying back home, and it's near the airport. So Yalonda said, "Well, let's go here." And we got there, and we looked at that menu, and we ordered an appetizer and an entree. And water.
The shrimp cocktail, I think, was like $25.
And this was
crazy.
And this was 30 years ago.
Yes.
This is not recent. This is 30 years ago. So we didn't have no money, and we certainly didn't have that kind of money.
Right. I don't know.
I wish I could know the name. Because we wanted to try. Because we tried Tavern on the Green when we was in New York, and we did that. So we go to the restaurant.
We try to go to
Sylvia's. We go to the spots.
Right. Yeah.
So while you talk, I'm going to be looking up this restaurant. Go ahead.
You can look it up and put it in the thing later. You can put a picture. But yeah. So the thing I was getting at though is that we do not like to eat. Mainly, we don't like to eat the same things. Like, he likes his stuff dripping with sauce and heavy with cheese.
Angus Barn.
That was it. That was it. That was exactly it. But you like your stuff, saucy, cheesy,
yes,
creamy.
Yes.
And
I'm a white sauce guy.
Yes. And I am not. I like red sauce. I like spicy sauces.
Right. And that doesn't mean I can't get spicy.
Yeah, you might get into it.
But I prefer
your choice, your preference.
Cheese is one of my things. I like cheese. Yeah. I like Alfredo.
Yeah.
And you like
I like marinara. I like a spicy something. What's the Diablo type of
that's a good sauce.
Type of deal.
I never get that sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
I never get
exactly.
That.
And I'll make stuff spicy that nothing even supposed to be spicy.
Right.
Can you make it spicy? Speaking of a Simone side story, she and I went to a Chinese restaurant because that's another one of her foods that she likes is Chinese. So we found some little Chinese spot,
right? Some
little hole in the wall type thing. And she was like, "Yeah, let's go there." So we go in. And I say this is a Szechuan style Chinese restaurant, I believe. And I say I want my fried rice spicy. And because I have had experiences in Chinese and Asian restaurants, I will say, yes, I want it spicy. And they want to give it to me American spicy, which It's not very spicy at all.
It's just more spicy than
It's
it
just
typically
only
get.
slightly spicy than the typical, very slightly. So I was with my big self was like, yeah, make it spicy, however he asked me, I was like, yeah, do that. Shawty. The rice comes to the table, and Moni, she don't care. Anybody's plate, anybody's food is her food if it's something that she likes. So the fried rice comes to the table first. And she immediately sticks her little fingers in there and puts it in her mouth and screams at the top of her voice. like a spider had just dropped down from the ceiling. Like she was just scared and startled and everything all at the same time. I was like, that's what you get, one, for being in my rice. But honestly, I couldn't eat it either.
Too spicy for you, too.
It was too spicy. I was like, what in the world have y'all done?
That's
It's like so spicy when you can't taste the food anymore.
right.
Your mouth is just hot. And I couldn't. So anyway, another Simone side story. Since we're doing that.
All right.
What else do we do together that we don't really kind of do together? It just most things, because
We don't grocery shop together anymore.
Yeah, remember
We don't grocery shop together.
We used to go as a whole family to the grocery store.
We don't grocery
All
shop
four of
together.
us go to the grocery store.
Now it's usually me and Simone, or
me, Simone, and Elizabeth.
you, Simone, and Elizabeth, or
Elizabeth.
me, or you,
Right.
or Simone and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the three. Elizabeth
Yeah.
is Simone's caretaker, who spends a lot of
Yes.
time with us. at the house.
Yes. And she likes to take care of us. She likes to be Simone's proxy daughter. Proxy, I don't know. The daughter to us that Simone would be if she could, Let me go get you your groceries, mommy and daddy. Let us go get it. She always speaks of her and Simone in the plural.
In the floor, like they're
Yes,
one.
like they're one person going, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. We got this for you, mommy and daddy.
Right. Madness.
So, yeah.
It's madness.
It's sweet. It's sweet because it's nice for her to do nice things for us
It is.
in the name of Simone.
It is. It is. But it's madness.
Because she claims Moni is helping and Moni.
Moni ain't helping. Moni ain't helping.
It's like, you got this.
So let's see. So watch TV. We
Yes.
don't go to movies too much anymore.
Nah. Because that was a thing we used to do a lot when we were childless too. We would go to the movies like every weekend.
Every weekend.
Every
Do
weekend.
they still have the dollar movies? And I'm sure they're not $1 anymore. but
Right. They're probably like $5 at this
Right.
point. I don't know.
I haven't seen one.
I only know of two really that I could have frequented.
Okay.
Maybe three. The Marlow Heights.
That's not $1 movie theater.
Right, I know.
Right.
And the one in Raleigh,
Yep, I
North
remember
Carolina, and we used to go to that one.
And the one on Liberty Road.
Oh, maybe that is. Yes. Was it Liberty? It wasn't 40?
It was Liberty.
About where the Home Depot is right now?
That was a movie theater, but
That
that
was
wasn't
regular
a
price
regular price
theater.
theater.
Okay.
Westview was the name of that movie theater.
I thought there was one. There was Westview, but then there was
There's one in the mall on the one side, and then there was one in front of the home
40.
or in front of the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Before they built the they turned it turned into a Circuit City, and now it is something
I
else.
don't know what it is, but yeah.
But it wasn't $1. That wasn't
wasn't
that
$1.
wasn't
Okay.
that wasn't this what it
used to-
amounts
I think
to. What I
I don't
understand
think
it to be now.
Liberty-
It's really second run movies.
Right, exactly.
movies
You
that-
don't see it the first run, but they, can keep it in the theater a little bit longer for you and charge you just a small amount, a
Right.
nominal fee for the ticket.
And then charge you $5 for popcorn. And stuff like
Yeah,
that. That's how they
yeah.
made their money. Concessions was how they made their money.
As all movie theaters do.
But,
But yeah,
I can tell you the thing that we do together still:
what's that?
ride around in the car with us. We drive together a lot,
Yes,
A lot.
we do.
and I have to give my baby some kudos because she doesn't always make me drive, which I appreciate. You know,
Yes.
if I say, "Can you drive?" She'll drive.
What do we call it? It's your soft lifetime.
It's my
soft
right.
husband.
I'm doing soft husband time. What's my soft husband time?
Soft husband lifetime is when I drive. I'm like, okay.
This must. I mean, I'm sitting over there like, wow. I didn't even know
how
it feels over here. I don't have nothing to do.
Right.
Is that what this feels like?
You're getting bored.
Is that what it feels like?
You got your phone now, so it's not so boring.
It's never boring. I started noticing stuff outside the window and seeing.
I didn't know that was over there.
Been driving the whole time. So there's a funny video where this woman calls her husband and says, "Honey, the car won't start." And his response to her is, "When I'm not in the car, you have to sit on the other side."
Yes,
and you zoom out, and she's sitting on the passenger side.
It's not driving me around like it's supposed to.
Honey, there's something wrong with the car. It's not starting. It's not starting.
That feeling.
When I'm not with you, you have to sit on the other side. That's a
You have to get behind the wheel, boo. you have to control it. So, yes, that's
but
funny.
So let's analyze this a little bit.
Okay.
Is it okay that we don't do these things together anymore?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's of course. I mean, I think it's the changes of our life. Like we kind of discuss how just things have changed. We get greater resources, and the kids come along and they make changes, and just life changes that way. But I think also just as your relationship matures, you are able to do those things that you like, or have those things that you like, or do things in the way that you like. Because that's a big thing for us too, is that each of us has a way of approaching tasks.
Sure.
And so sometimes it helps if we just
let the other person
do your thing. Just do your thing, and I'll see.
We don't do laundry together anymore.
No.
But really, that's because you never wanted to do laundry in the beginning.
Laundry is my least favorite chore to do.
It's my favorite chore. It's
so
my
crazy.
number one favorite chore to do.
Like, is that genetic? Because your mom says the same thing.
Yeah, it's my favorite chore. I could wash clothes. There's no reason I shouldn't have opened a laundromat or a dry cleaner. There's no reason I shouldn't have done that.
You could have done that. Do what you love and make money.
There's no reason I shouldn't have done that.
Because I would have been looking at you like, shorty, why?
I could be like Jefferson Cleaners.
Where we moving on up? Yes, for sure. But we do make the bed together still.
Most times.
A lot of times. You're not even most. It's just a lot of times. Sometimes one of us is just off doing our thing in the morning. But yeah, it would be the last person to get out the bed would make it.
Right.
But if we get out the bed at the same time,
we make
it together. Yes.
We make it together.
But just, I was thinking about years and years ago, before we had kids, we would go out to eat, and I would notice older couples in the restaurant just sitting quietly eating, not really saying too much. And I'd be like, oh, that's so sad. They must be unhappy. They must be, they ran out of things to say to each other. It seemed like a sad thing to see. But now I realize that, the silence is just as full. The silence is just as meaningful. I don't know, as
it can be.
having all this conversation, just sitting in each other, just the presence of each other is sweet.
And things will come up. You probably didn't watch them for the entire meal.
Exactly. They probably did talk while I was busy talking with you, or whatever, focus on my food. So yeah, things do come up, and I see us doing that now when it's just us going to eat, that, we will be quiet for some of the time, and we talk and chat and laugh and all those things. So I think just as you are experiencing a lot of life together, I don't have to tell you the story. because you were there.
I was there. I was there.
And maybe we can laugh about the story and what had happened. But yeah. So I'm cool with that. And plus, when we try to do stuff together, sometimes we be at each other's throats. So
Space is not bad.
No, space is not bad at all. We will meet.
Not too much.
Meet in the middle a little later on.
Not too much space, but some space.
Yeah, exactly. Some room, some elbow room to do your thing.
I concur. I concur.
So that's all I wanted to talk about today.
I mean, that's a solid conversation piece to have. So if you guys are out there, first of all, there's a whole chapter in our book where we discuss it being okay to watch the next episode. That's kind of that wasn't the catalyst for this, but
we
talked about that. There's a chapter
on that, and there's a chapter on doing things separately.
Yes, there's a chapter on both of those things.
Salad.
Yes, putting this stuff. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So
we'll have to be up under each other all the time.
So we thank you for taking the time to hang out with us.
Yes.
Housekeeping.
Yes.
Housekeeping. Yes. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We need you to grow. So you see this.
Can't do it without you.
Please make sure you do that. Share it with a friend. Bring somebody else along.
Yes.
I think we are, and we talked about this in another conversation. We might be the voice of Generation X. That might be what we are.
Kind of representing,
because this is not the space. It's usually the millennials and and Generation Z's who are really
like
on the podcast and looking at those things. But we are who we are,
right? And we just doing.
We can't be them.
No, impossible
for a number of reasons, a myriad of reasons. But we still think that we can potentially offer value to people of our generation.
Conversation starters, our reaction to how things are so different from when we were young. And just perspective. Yes, I know. Perspective.
That's where we're living right now.
With the eyelashes. And
Panem and Bizarro world. That's what's going on.
Bizarro word is politics, and Panem is fashion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Panem.
If y'all know, Panem was the city in the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Where the rich people live. The capital.
It's the capital.
Yes. And you saw how they dressed the sparkle eyelashes and they did the different color hair and all those things. So.
And it's been Panem for many years. I saw it coming. I saw it coming a long time ago.
You did. I'm trying to figure out what was the thing. It might have been the lashes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is, you would like.
Crazy. So that's the first thing. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Second thing. We are still on Sunday nights. Please make sure you come and check out our live show. We are on twitch.tv/DJ C#, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we start on Sunday nights. Sometimes we start a little bit late, but usually we're pretty good about starting at 9 o'clock.
You're almost always good.
I was giving us some grace.
Okay.
So
right. If you don't see us on, don't think we're not coming on. Hang out a little bit.
Most likely we're coming.
And we'll be going live.
You can also check our IG because that's where we kind of, if we ever have to cancel or we ever not come, we'll post that we're not going to be on tonight. Because I got some stuff coming up for DJ stuff that might put a damper on those things on a couple of Sundays. And those are the two things that I want to make sure we
housekeep. That's it.
Yeah. So
floor is swept, the kitchen light above the stove is on. The kitchen is closed. Because we all the way black, y'all. We all the way black.
That's funny.
That is the sign that the kitchen is closed for the night.
Yes. You know what you don't see in kitchens anymore though? It's not in our kitchen, but I saw it in all kitchens. Every kitchen I ever went into growing up, I don't see it anymore. A can of grease.
Yeah. Because we've learned. If anybody is going to reduce, reuse, recycle,
It's gonna be us.
it's the black. It's the black community. We gonna use plastic bags. We gonna save those. We gonna save containers and put stuff in it that don't belong in it. We gonna do the thing. We gonna cut up. Your mama gonna put a patch in your jeans.
Nobody
Instead of
does
buying
poor
a
as
pair of
fabulously as we do.
Exactly.
Nobody does poor as
Exactly.
fabulously as the black people do.
Your mother is a great example, though. It's so funny living with your elder as an adult as opposed to as a kid, because I see her doing things. She washes and reuses Ziploc bags. So she'll buy a box of Ziploc bags and she'll have that for a year or two. Because she gonna wash them Ziploc bags. Unless it's something really, really nasty in there. Yes.
Yeah.
And
she can
aluminum foil. She can afford. Yes. It's not about being poor at all. It's just we have had to save and budget and make do exactly for so long. It's just in us to continue to do that. We got a stack of plastic bags downstairs right now.
Yes, we do. All right. So this is what we need you to do. In the comments, please make sure you let us know, one, if you have an artist that you like, who is your kind of secret undercover white artist that you like. You heard mine.
Or just mainstream artists.
Non-mainstream artists. That's fine.
Mainstream artists, right.
So, yes.
Yes, not non-mainstream.
Yes, the mainstream artists that you don't want nobody to know that you like.
Yes.
So,
let us know.
And the second thing is, tell us something that you may have done together with your spouse in the past, but y'all don't do it together anymore.
Right.
We want to know those things.
Right.
So, good enough.
We don't have a call out anymore. Bye, y'all.
You had a call out last week.
What was it?
I don't remember. See, we didn't remember. You should have written it down.
We should have. We not listened to our own episodes all the way to the end.
Well,
so
apparently we just don't memorize them.
I can't even think about what I said.
So,
but
all right.
Take care until next time.
Yes.
It was something about be kind.
Yes.
Be good. Yes.
It was all of that.
Do that. Be kind and be good to yourself and to others.
Absolutely. All right.
Until next
time. Good night, good day, good afternoon, depending on where you listen.
Good morning.
Good morning. We'll take that too. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed another exciting episode of Rhythm of Love, the podcast, hosted by Clarence and Yalonda Lewis.
Theme song by Kendra R.
Book graphics by Rihanna Denise.
More information is available at cylentertainment.com.
Please join us on Sunday nights for our live stream on twitch.tv/DJC Sharp.